Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, in our last class, we actually went over creating or starting our store. I'm so excited. So hopefully you wrote down the login ID and password for your store. I don't think I did, because I think I created it on the fly. Well, I did create it on the fly with everybody else. And we started the process of building out our store. So we created a logo. I think I had everybody go to Taylor Brands just to create and download a logo, just a random one. Didn't have to be anything that you could keep because you can always recreate a logo. We went to, close some of these. We went to Taylor Brands and did that. After we did that, we chose a theme for our store. Then after we chose a theme for our store, then we started the process of uploading our images and adding some products. We did some collections. And so I need everybody to open up their stores now. And let's continue from there. Okay, so I have to open up my Shopify store just like you do. Now I'm in my store again. Share my screen. Okay, so currently we're in settings. Let me go here. Once I click on the X, if you had to go and put your credit card in, once you click on the X, then you can get back to the screen that we previously were at when class ended last, which is our home screen or our dashboard. This, I'm going to click on the name of my store, and we're going to go in and edit our theme again. So in last class, the couple of things that we did, or the class that we just had, or we started our store. Okay, we created our trial. Trial is over because we had a gap week. Number two, we actually went out and selected some pictures, and we also created a logo. And we used Taylor Brands just to create one on the fly. Step three, we went in and we started, we attached a theme to our store. Step four, after we attached a theme to our store, then we went in and started editing our store, or designing our store, so that we had the opportunity to, start playing around with it. So let me go over to, when you get to this screen, and hopefully everyone is at this screen, how I got to the screen after I paid was I closed the X over here. I clicked on the name of my store up here. And then once I did that, I'm going to go ahead and click on customize. And I'm going to click on customize theme. So we left off with the issue of why couldn't I get anything to show up in the gallery? Well, the reason nothing was showing up in the gallery was because of the fact, well, this is not showing anything yet. Come on. It was because we'd only added one product just for testing purposes. So we created two collections, but we only added one product, and that was totally, my fault. So we're going to go in and add a couple more products so that way we can see the collections. So as soon as this comes up, yes, I need to get to my themes. Come on. I have an error here. There we go. Customize. We are not Dawn. We are Brooklyn. There we go. So I click on themes, and I am going to scroll down. So click on themes over underneath your menu options. And then I'm going to go to the Brooklyn theme. I meant to delete the Dawn theme. I don't want the Dawn theme. So the option to delete it. That is not my, that's the current theme on my unpublished store. So we're going to scroll down to Brooklyn, and we're going to click on customize. Now we're going to get to a screen that should look familiar to you. So I was creating a store on the fly for coffee mugs. Yeah, coffee mugs. Okay, and we only had one coffee mug, so I wasn't getting anything in the gallery, and I was trying to figure out why I didn't get anything. So since we only added one coffee mug, we've got to go in and we've got to add some products. So to add some products, the last time we were together, I taught you to, we were in collections, so let's just go back. I could have added some coffee mugs from where I was. Let's go pick some coffee mugs because this is our play store. So let me go grab a couple more coffee mugs. We only had 2 designs. And I'm just going to choose images. You should already have your products, whatever products you're going to sell. So you should already have your pictures ready to go. And so if you have your pictures ready to go, you can just, download the pictures. So I'm going to choose this image. It's 488 by 488. This is the dimensions. It looks like it's big, but it's not. It's small. I don't know what that's going to look like. So we're going to put this inside of our Play Store. Just find out where I put all this stuff. This is the Play Etsy store. Oh, we're just going to put it inside the Etsy store for right now because I don't remember which folder I created. Okay, so this is coffee mug number 3, I think, because I had 2 for the gallery. So we'll take this coffee mug and I'm literally going to create a store of just white coffee mugs. This one's kind of cute and fancy. So I'll take this one. And this coffee mug 4. Okay. The things that we talked about was making sure that you already had your stuff pulled together before you get into building your store or designing your store. Make sure you've got a couple of your images of your products. And so choose one more. You need that's a toilet. That's actually pretty funny. Okay. Oh, these are very interesting coffee. Okay, here's one. That's a very different coffee mug. So save as, and this is coffee mug 5. And let's just grab one more. This is kind of a ceramic type of something. So yeah, I did all white coffee mugs. Coffee mug 6. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we have some items that we can actually put into our store, adding coffee mugs. So I am going to go into, I think we had it under handcrafted. I don't know which one I added here. Specialty collection. Featured large coffee mugs. Okay, so we're gonna say that these are our large coffee mugs in a grid. Let me go back to my store. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna add products. So we only had grandpa's coffee mugs and mom's coffee mug. And we put grandpa's under handmade, I think mom's under large. So we're gonna add another product. Oh, did I stop sharing? Oh, I'm not sharing. You guys didn't see me do any of that. Sorry, I apologize. This is not a good morning. Okay, so now you can see my screen. Please tell me you can see my screen. All I did was first, just so you know what I was doing, I actually went out to Google and I found just some coffee mugs. I just typed in coffee mugs in the Google search. And once I typed in coffee mugs in the Google search, I just randomly chose some coffee mugs. I thought that you could see my screen, but you could not see my screen. So I apologize for that. I chose, these are the coffee mugs that I chose. I chose this one. And I chose this one, which is a very different coffee mug, kind of square. I chose this one, which has got the weird whatever on the front, which that's a tiny picture. And be mindful of that. I talked about that last time. If the picture is too small, it's going to look weird. And I chose this one. This one probably would go better under the handcrafted, but that's okay. So we're going to add all of these to Mom's coffee mugs because in our store, we are featuring, let me hide the floating controls. There we go. In our store, we are featuring our featured collection is for the large coffee mugs. And so we only had one product that was attached to large coffee mugs. So last class, when I tried to show the gallery grid, I wasn't getting anything because there was only one product in there. So we're going to go ahead and add these. I don't know. We're going to call this, the last one was Mom's coffee mug. This is, I'm just going to call them coffee mug number one and coffee mug. Coffee mug, I'm going to call them exactly what I just named them. In the future, when you are actually adding your images, give it a good title of how people might be searching for this particular thing. Name your image based on how people might be searching for this thing. Since we're just doing this exercise, I'm just putting this in. Coffee mug 3. Gonna make it active. And we did all of this last time. We're gonna add the file, image, and get it out of my Etsy folder. Just a bunch of stuff here. Yeah, I did a Etsy store. This is a good one. This is a nice copy one. And we're gonna put a price in here. Oops. Cost per item, we're gonna see 150. And gonna add a SKU if you want to. I'm gonna say I have a quantity of 1. I'm gonna say the weight is 1 pound. So that's really kind of heavy. We're gonna say it's 5 ounces, and we'll change it to ounces because I just thought about that. I'm like, that's kind of a heavy coffee mug. Region is the US. You can add any other hazmat information. I'm not going to put in that the product has different colors and sizes. And we're going to add it to where? We're going to add it to the large coffee mugs. That's, I think, the one we're featuring right now. So let's add it to the large coffee mugs. And I'm not going to put any tags. Product, that's fine. Okay. So once we've made it active over here, we're going to go ahead and save. Then I want you to go and do the same thing to your whatever your test store item was. I want you to go do the same thing and add your products. So I'm going to continue adding my different coffee mugs. So I'm just going to call it coffee mug number 3. I clicked on add a product. I'm going to go to coffee mug number 4. Mug 4. And again, these are not legitimate names. Hopefully that's obvious that these are not legitimate names. And make this active. And if you're importing, that's different. You can import these instead of typing them, but we're just doing the exercise. And I'm gonna say that this one is $16.99. I'm gonna say that I paid $1 for it. And put in a SKU. I'm gonna put a quantity of 1. I'm gonna attach this to large coffee mugs. A collection of large coffee mugs. Let's just see. The weight is 4 ounces. It's probably too small, but that's okay. Just put in your stuff correctly. United States. And I'm going to save that one. And then the next one is, I'm going to go ahead and click. I can click on products here. I can click on this arrow. And if I click on the arrow, should see my fourth coffee mug. I can click on add a product here. And once I add the product, active, selection, large, add the picture. Oh, I forgot to put 6 in there. We'll add one to Granddad's handcrafted. We'll add the other one. This one probably should be handcrafted, but that's okay. And then, let's say the cost is $1. So the weight is 7 ounces. And I should have left it 0.7 pounds, but that's okay. Region. And do I have everything that I want to add? A quantity of 1. So we have something to sell and large, save, okay. So we have 3 more products that we've now added to our collection for large coffee mugs. And we'll go put one under Grandpa's coffee mug. So this will do, I didn't do handcrafted. That must have been a different class that I was teaching. So this is going to be coffee mug 6. Can I make it active? Oh, I did. Okay. And 2.99. Let's see, 1. Just screw in or a barcode. Let's say this. There we go. All right. Did everyone get multiple products added to their store? And are their listings for the products that they just created active? Oh, the picture didn't take. Hold on. Okay. There we go. Media is added. Okay, media is added. Now let's go look at. There we go. We have pictures. All white coffee mugs, but we have pictures. Oh, I already used this one. Is this the same mug? It is. It's the same mug. Yeah. Ugh. All right, I'm just gonna go grab another coffee mug. It's the same mug. That one looks different. Okay, save image as. Look how this coffee mug number 6B. That's what it looks. The same mug. All right, we're gonna change our media. Let's go get 6B. Now this is different. Still part of handcrafted. And we're good. Okay, so now we have 2 products under handcrafted category and 4 products under coffee mug, the large category. So we're going to go back to viewing our store. Minimize this. Scroll down. That. And Click on online store, we go to themes, we're going to scroll down, and we are going to customize Brooklyn. Now that we have added all of these products, let's see if they automatically show up, because we automatically attach them to the large coffee mug collection, and we also attach them to, look at that. We attached them to the other, which was handcrafted. So I didn't have to come back and add them once I automatically assigned them to the collections that I previously created. So as you're thinking about your inventory of what you're going to be offering, if you create your collections and think about, okay, maybe you have men's clothes and women's clothes. And so every time that you add something for women's clothes or men's clothes, and you assign it to that particular collection, it will auto appear if you've already assigned it in your store. So looking at this, I want to change the layout for my featured collection. We had it listed as grid last time. That's what I was trying to figure out what was happening. And so now I have it listed as a collage. So you have two choices on your grid style. You can choose, over here under featured collection, which was where we were when we last left off. Under featured collection, I click on featured collection. And then the coffee mug that's going to was originally showing there under large coffee mugs was the big one for mom. And the style that we had was grid, and I changed it to collage, and now it shows this. So if you have awesome, big, pretty images, then they will just pop. If they are tiny images, then they're going to look weird. They're just going to look weird. And so you want to make sure you decide how you want to list these. So on my featured, so that's featured collections. Now, under featured products, if there is a product that you want to showcase in your store, I chose mom's. I'm going to change that. I'm going to go grab grandpa's. So I'm going to change the product that I want to feature. It's going to show me all the products that I have. I'm going to show grandpa's coffee mug. And I'm going to select that. So all I did was come into, under our featured collections was featured product. I click on featured product, I click on change, and then once I click on change, I choose the product, and at the bottom, I choose select, okay? That's how I do it. If you have a video, this is where some people will put a video. They may also put a couple second video up at the top of their store as well, just as a moving image at the top. So from this point, let's go top to bottom. We updated the header part of our store. Under the header, we added the logo. After we added the logo, we chose a color for our, we chose a color for our banner. So the banner, if I scroll all the way down, this is where the words are for the banner, which is this right here. And then here are, here's where we have the color of the bar, which is black, and the text, which is white. The other thing is that we didn't change the word. It still just says hero banner. So I didn't change that last time. I can't believe I didn't do that. So we're going to change the hero banner text here in a second. Main menu. I think we have two pictures here. Yeah, we have two pictures. Yeah. So we added our pictures in the other section. So this is the header. Get out of here. We started with the slideshow. We're doing full screen for our slideshow. You can say that it changes every couple of seconds, so you can change the second speed for this. And then that way, when people come to your store, they can see whatever it is that you want to showcase. Okay, you can say that it is not full screen. You can adjust that. And in our slideshow, just a second, Heather. Okay, we have the announcement bar. And we have the home page only, which is our menu here. You have a footer menu, which we haven't done anything with the footer menu yet. Okay, we haven't gotten into these yet. All right, so we're going to come back to this. We haven't changed any of that. Just make sure I got everything that we're going to change. Okay. Okay. All right, we haven't gotten there. So let me just. We added our collections. I'm trying to figure out, I think I deleted a section or I hid a section. Yeah, what's that? I must have hid a section. That's got to be what it is. Edit the text, change that one. Okay. I changed something. I think somebody's settings were different than mine, and I was trying to figure out. So I moved some stuff around. Okay, we did hide this section. We did hide. So underneath here, before we got to the collections list, we actually had this text, and so we hid this text. Was one of the things that we did do by clicking on the eyeball that would hide the text. We added our slideshow, which was the next thing in our list. And so our slideshow, we made it full screen. Underneath slideshow, these are the two images. So here's our first image that we had. And then the second image was the gentleman. So second image. All right, on our slideshow, we didn't change our text. So instead of what we have here, we're selling coffee mugs. So I don't know, world's best coffee mug. I'll put that in the hero banner. This is on his picture, which is the picture we're on. That's the world's best coffee mug. And you can have a subtitle if you want one. You can clear that out. Shop now. We always want to make sure we have the shop now button. And the button color. Yep. Button color. And link to the button. And here, go to this one. Change the hero banner. And get rid of this. Oh, okay. So I do, because I made this logo so big, I am going to have to put some text there. So I could change the size of my logo because that is a really big logo. I'll put the introducing back. Didn't move it down much. No, I didn't move it down much at all. Okay, we'll leave that. I'll change the size of my logo. So after we changed, so on the slideshow, sorry, let me go back. On the slideshow, we have the actual images centered, opacity. So let me just explain what opacity is. If you wanted your image to show up lighter or darker, you can change the opacity if there's an overlay that you're putting on it. So sometimes people will put like a slightly gray covering over the image so that way they can, maybe it looks more transparent, or they want their words to pop on the page. So that is a common thing that people will do. Let me show this picture so we can see what I mean by that. So right now it is super light. If I change the opacity, it's super dark. So the letters on this page kind of pop because it is super dark. If I move it over, it just automatically changes. Now it's a little bit lighter. Remember, he changes like every 7 seconds, so he's going to do it anyway. And as I continue to move it closer over to the words, under the words overlay opacity, it gets lighter or darker. So this could be helpful if you want your letters to pop. And so if I made this darker, I'll see this sometimes when people are selling clothes, and if they're featuring like an outfit or something, but they want the letters to show up really well, then they'll put a little bit of opacity over the top of it, so the picture looks a little darker than it actually is. So this is the original picture, and then this is what the overlay looks like. And then I will go to slide 2. And again, I can come down. I can change the opacity a little bit. It's a little too dark. If I wanted my words to pop, if I had a smaller logo, if I had whatever I have going on. So just remember, you can change that. The text alignment, I'm going to move the text alignment to the right. There we go. Now my letters show up a little bit better. So I'll change it to the right. That works. And I left the introducing. Actually, I'm going to get rid of that. I just don't like it at all. Okay. And I have my shop now button. So let me go ahead and go to the other one and change it to the right. That looks a little bit better. And yep, remove the introducing, and I like that better. Okay, so then the next thing that we did after slideshow, again, we removed the text. If you want the text to come back, you can just unhide it. You can come in here, put something amazing about your particular products that you happen to be selling. You might want to get a copywriter to help you with some of that. But if you're not really sure, you can just hide it for right now. Then the next thing is that customers will see is that I have 2 options. I can go after handmade coffee mugs, or I can go after large coffee mugs, okay? So again, if you have more groupings, like if you're selling men's clothes or women's clothes or kids' shoes and toddler shoes, or kids bedding and adults bedding, I mean, like whatever it is that you're selling, group it into categories that logically make sense. That's all. Then the next thing, so we went into collections, and then we had a collection list. Oops. Right. Went into collections. I hid the first couple of ones. I could have actually, let's just do this. Change my screen blue. There we go. So all of these collections, you can have multiples, you can get rid of them, you can hide them. If you decide you're going to offer have some more offerings, just hide that. And the only thing that's going to show is what you do actually have available. And that's it. Nothing else will show. Then the next thing we did was we filled in the featured collections. And the featured collections, we are choosing the large coffee mugs. If we change it to grandpa's, whoops, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, didn't mean it. If we change it to grandpa's, or sorry, the handcrafted, it's actually just going to show these two, and that's all we have. And so the challenge we had in class number 3 was I was only seeing one, and the reason I was only seeing one because I didn't put a bunch of coffee mug options in there. So I'm going to go ahead and change it back to large, so I have more coffee mugs, and they just automatically appear on their own. I can change this to, okay, so this is large, and I'm going to change this to collage. I think it looks better. And it shows all of the coffee mugs. And again, make sure you have big, pretty pictures that pop. You want to look at this on the mobile phone. So I'm going to save now because we haven't saved in a while. And to look at this on a mobile device, this is what your customers will see. They pull it up on a mobile device. So when you come up to the top of your store after you save, you can change the settings so you can see what it will look like on a mobile device. How the picture will showcase, what customers will see, so they're not going to see his coffee mug. So in that case, I would have wanted a picture where the coffee mug was in the middle. Then they can see that there's 2 different types of coffee mugs that are available. And then they can see the individual coffee mugs if they want to buy, and then buy it now. Okay. So after featured collections, minimize this. The next thing was featured product. This was our featured product. There was a product you wanted to showcase, you could change that. So I am going to change it to grandpa's. I think that was nice. We'll select that one. I'm going to save. And then the next thing will be the newsletter section, which we are not going to, I'm not doing a newsletter section. So here's what I would suggest to get people onto your newsletter, because if you just say join my newsletter, people are like, I'm not interested in one more piece of email. But if you say, get 10% off, get 15% off, get 30% off, that's different. Get 30% off and updates of our new line on our new line, then people would join your newsletter for that. So if you want to add more sections, here's what happens when you click on add more sections. You can add a blog post section. We already have a collection list, and we also have a featured list. We already have image text. If you want to add some more image text, you can do that. We have the slideshow, which showcases up at the top. We already have the featured product. We have newsletter sign up. You can add some more rich text. I'm going to click on show more. If you want to add a video, adding a video to your page to showcase what it is that you're selling is always good. That is a good one. So you can choose to add a video or not. Instead of subscribe to my newsletter, you like I said, to get people onto your list, subscribe to our newsletter is not always like the best text, but you can say get 20% off today only, or get 20% off period. And that would be a good way to get people to come to your store, to get people to sign up for your newsletter. 20%. Your first purchase, and then the rest of it is, you could add some more text or change this text to say something about promotions and stuff like that. I'm gonna change this from mobile back to desktop. And on this, you would want to make sure that you have your integration set up so that it goes to your email list. Although you will be able to collect email addresses inside of Shopify, but you want an email to go out to the person once they sign up. Okay, so we're not going to add any more sections. We're going to go straight down to the footer. And this is where you have the opportunity to show some additional things about your store. So you have show payment icons. These are all the payment icons. Country, okay. Language, which we're using, and you can change these settings. I'll show you where those are in just a second. We have a menu. So go ahead. Oh, we haven't done that yet. So we have not set up this. So we'll come back. These are all the things we're going to do later on. Okay. And then we can change our social media. Update our ad. There we go, theme settings. So you can add your social media. So the icons would show up here if you have your social media set up. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to copy this text. And I think this is the number. I don't know if that's my real one or not. So you could do that and literally just add these if you know what they are. I'm just copying the URLs. So the icons start to show up. You see them start to flash in there. Tumblr, YouTube. Maybe you're making the coffee mugs. I don't know what fancy.com is. You guys know what fancy.com is? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save. Now I have some icons at the bottom of my store. So I could say publish. So because I've already paid for my subscription, I actually could publish my store now. Your password is enabled and it can be disabled after publishing. Okay, so are you sure you want to publish with the Brooklyn? It will replace the Dawn. Yes, I want to replace the Dawn. So it says that my store is live. Of course, I don't want it to be live. But here's my store. If you want to view your store, you can click on the little eyeball. And now this is the store that you and I designed together. Okay. We added products. We created a banner page. And this is our fake store so far. So let me see what questions you all have. What questions do you have about what I've done so far? What questions do you have about what I have shown you so far? Now, you don't have to publish your store. You can actually just click on the eyeball so you can see what it will look like. But this is our store, and we got all these fake pictures off the internet to create this amazing fake store. Okay. All right. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to keep going. If you have questions, you can ask them in the chat. And I have to always click on the loading controls just so I can see it. Okay. Now that we have like our store, we didn't attach the domain. So of course it still says My Shopify on the end because we haven't attached our domain. So let's go talk about the other things that we would do to this store. And if I need to slow down or do something different, tell me so that way I don't want you to be lost. Leave this page. Yeah. I don't want you to be lost. I want you to stay with me. So if I go too fast, tell me. Okay, so now that we have created our store, we didn't add a section for blog posts. So now I'm going to underneath the menu items. So the menu items that we looked at so far is we were on home. We added some products. Okay, we added all these products. We haven't done anything with customers because we don't have any customers yet. We haven't done anything under finances, analytics and marketing. We haven't done anything there. In analytics, we haven't had any sales, nothing's happened with our store. So we haven't done anything in that. So we'll talk about that in our next class. Underneath online store, we have updated the theme, okay? The theme is now Brooklyn. We have not done anything with blog posts because we didn't add a blog post section to our store. But if we wanted to create a blog post, maybe that's talking about why people love coffee first thing in the morning, or why you should learn how to make coffee mugs, or why coffee is good for your health, you can create a blog post. And then if you go back to your store, you can add that section so that that blog post shows up. So if I click on create blog post, you can give it a title. You can type in your content. You would type on visible up here. You want an image for this particular blog post. If there is a sentence you want to showcase so that they just see a part at the beginning part of the blog post instead of the full blog post, you could do that, and that way it'll show from your home page. And then for your blog post to rank or show up in the search engines, what is it that you're trying to rank for? You're trying to rank for coffee, trying to rank for coffee mugs. What is it the thing that people are searching for to find your stuff? And that is what you would put in here for the search engine listing. Under the blog, you only have right now just news. So it's really just an informational blog. And it would automatically show up once you added the blog section. It would show up at the bottom of the page that you just created. So you need to make sure that you change it to visible. So I'm just going to put some crap in here. And okay, so we have garbage. And I was doing an NC store training, so we want to have a person hold a coffee mug. That would actually be a good one. Oh, my coffee mug wrong. Oh, that's a good one. Getty images. It's a nice licensable. All right, let me choose this one. I think it's a good one. Actually, I don't like that one. Okay, we're gonna go with this. Okay, so I'm gonna save image as well. Look at the dimensions for the image. I think this is just, yeah, 590. So this is not gonna be very big. So, you wanna be mindful of whether or not it's gonna show up as grainy or not. So, coffee mug. And then adding images is just as simple as coming over here, adding your image. And so then your image shows up. If you want an excerpt to show up, you just type in the excerpt that you want to show up. Make sure that put the author. And this is, if you want to get people to get to this particular blog link, it's showing up under news. I just called it coffee up here. So that is the URL that they'll find it under. And you probably want to put some description in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and save. I'm going to go back to my store. And I'm going to customize And then this is where, if you wanted to add that in, I come down to add a section. Under section, I would add blog post. And so right now, I just have one that I think would automatically show up. I don't know if I made it live. I think I did. But in any case, the blog post is in the wrong. Oh, it's in the right place. Sorry. It's in the right place. So blog post. And I only want to show one. Okay. So what I did was, let me just show you what I did. Sorry, I did it fast. Click on the words blog post once you add that section. After you add that section, if you wanted to show 3 across, that'll be your last 3 blogs. You can do that. If you only have one, you can just show one, and then the readers will see whatever you put up there. Okay. You can change, the blog. So I'm going to go ahead and click on save. Show excerpt if you had an excerpt. Show the author. I would probably do that. Show cover image. For the blogs, the young lady would show up over here. I don't think I had an excerpt. I mean, I think I didn't have one. Okay, so now if I go backwards. Oh, yeah. I don't know what I put. I put gibberish. It's what I put. So let me go back and let's just see, did I keep any of that? Yeah, I did. Okay. And is it, oh, it's hidden. That's why. Okay, so let's go unhide it. And save. Preview. Gibberish and gibberish. Let's just put some gibberish in there. Okay. So now that is visible. If I want to see what that looks like, my gibberish, I can click on the eyeball. And once I click on the eyeball, there is my blog post. The lady drinking a cup of coffee. So there you go. I added a blog post. And blogs can help your products be found if you type of a blog post. So it'll also help you with ranking, and you can have links back to your specific products in the body of the blog post. So if it's a really good informational article or funny article or something like that, and people find it out on the search engines, it could draw them back to your store, get you some traffic to your store. And so whatever you decide you're going to sell, that's always helpful. All right, so I think we got a pretty good store going so far. The next thing is your pages. Okay, so you need to update your contact page. And on your contact page, so you can put here how they reach you. You can put the email address. You can put your mailing address. So I'm going to type in contact us. I can't just do that. Can I have my laptop? Okay. And I can put an 800 number. Ooh, I cannot type today. This. Next. You can put an email address. Whoops, I do 666. And you can also put an email address. Okay, so we've got, it's visible. I can save this. If there are additional pages that you want to add, you can click on add a page. And you can decide what type of page it is. You can give it a name if it needs to be added, so that if people need to reach you, you can add pages to your store and they will show up on your store. Navigation. So the navigation that we were seeing, we see a main menu, and the main menu, we add home, catalog, and contact. So if I go back, not here. Let's see my store. Okay, home, catalog, contact. So under contact, if they click on contact, I just added that stuff, shows them how to contact us. Okay, and if they put in their information and hit send, this is what they're going to get. Okay, that's how that's tied together. Okay, catalog is the stuff that we just added. We added all these products. Okay, so these are all the products that they're going to see. Okay. And then home is the home page. Okay. So if I go back over here, click on main menu, if you wanted to change any of these, because we have a contact page, we have the catalog, which is showing the products that you added. You could do that if you want to do that. Footer is, of course, they can search things in the footer. And I'm thinking in the footer, of course, that's where we have all of the credit cards that you accept, the social media tags, stuff like that is in the footer. So if I go to the footer, right now, search is an option. If they wanted to search your page, let me go back. So there's a search here. They want to search your store. And I believe in the footer, there's a search here. So they want to search, they can search your store that way too. So they have two search options. Okay. I guess I need to save that. I'm not going to remember that. So let me just save it. All right. Yeah. All right. So you have a search here and you have a search at the top. So if you want to add another menu item, you can add that additional menu item and a link to that particular page. So maybe you want to add a product, so you can write products here. Link at the bottom to showcase the products that you have available. So you would have a distinct link to the actual products page. Maybe to have a link to the blog, so you can write blog here and put a link directly to the blog post. So you can link back to things within your own Shopify store. Okay. And then the next one. So we were under navigation. So those are the two. And then again, if you want to change some more, you can add some more options. But the footer and the menu, definitely important. So those are the things that are going to show up. So if you want to change those, this is where you change it. Again, I just showed you. Click on main menu and you add whatever the menu items are that you want to be seen on that front page up here. Okay. Preferences. Under preferences, this information will help you to be found in the search engines. This is where, of course, I would change out my image because this image is way too big. It is 1200 by 628. So I need a smaller image. If you want to drop it into a tool to shrink the size of it, you can do that. So your Google Analytics. If you have an account, go ahead and put your account here. If you have a Facebook pixel, you can set that up as well. And so the Facebook pixel, when you log into your Facebook account itself, that's where you will actually, you can add the pixel that they will email you the pixel. and or the pixel will be visible on the page. So they're pretty good at always emailing you the pixel so that you have that as well. And then if you are selling internationally, there's some things that you need to know. So there's a whole privacy requirement if you're selling internationally. If you are selling in California, there's a whole privacy requirement there as well. So you would want to activate these two if you plan on selling to customers internationally, like in the UK, sorry, being specific here. And also, if you're going to get transactions in California, I would go ahead and click on activate. This is the password for your store for right now. So it's password protected so that restricts access to your store. Okay. And then because we're not set up to collect money and all that other stuff. To reduce spam as people are buying things, you can activate the spam protector. So if you don't want them there, you can just uncheck them. But if you want them there as people fill out forms, this is where they fill out the contact form in the comments form. Then they'll get that little recaptcha thing where, you know, it says like click on the 6 sidewalks or find your sidewalk or click on the bus or whatever, and you do that. And then also, if people are logging in to your store, if they're logging into your store, because sometimes you'll have customers create an account, especially if they continue to buy from you on a regular basis. And then customers they'll automatically be redirected. If you want to support your region. So I would actually add my domain instead of worrying about the redirect right now. Up here, again, if you want to change the image size or change the size for your logo, definitely like redesign in my example, I would redesign the logo. Okay. And so your meta tags, this is one of the most important things. This is how people will find you in the search engines, or how the spiders will define what content they can find in your store. So in our first couple of classes, I talked about keyword research and making sure that you are using terms that people are either searching to find this particular product or how they use this particular product. So what the product is, those are keywords that you want to include here. How people are searching for the product, those are keywords you want to include here. And how people are using and what the intended use is for the product. How it gets used, how it gets incorporated into their day-to-day life. All of that's important here in the meta information. And so make sure that you are putting something here that actually makes a lot of sense. So those are the options here. When you actually are using Facebook, you know, like creating Facebook ads, and I think we're doing that in class 6 or 7. I'll show you the Facebook pixel. You can come back and add it here. Google pixel, you can come back and add it here. So that way you can track the activity, how people are finding you and all that other stuff, and you can see what's happening to your store. Okay, what questions do we have so far? All right, now we're going to go into settings. So for you, I need you to go ahead and before the next class, we've already added the theme. We used Brooklyn last time. You may have a different version of Brooklyn, but we used Brooklyn. We added a blog post. We already had the pages. So if you have more pages you want to add where people can come to a page for something, you can put that there. Maybe at some point you're going to do like a major, a bigger catalog, much bigger. Or, you know, your inventory is such that you're going to offer a variety of different things. Maybe something that's complementary to coffee mugs, like people want to buy coffee. So you literally could have a page where people could buy coffee and maybe have a link to whichever page you're selling that stuff on. Navigation, we talked about what that is and what you're going to do here and what you need to edit. So Right now, we just have search on ours, but again, you can add more things to it and your main menu and preferences. So we went through our entire store. Hopefully your store looks good right now. So my store, I think, looks decent. I'm not going to say that I'm in love with it or not in love with it, but it's a clean store and it's pretty straightforward. And I think the biggest thing that I talked about when we first start creating our stores is, what does it look like when people first come to it? If they can't figure out what it is that you're selling, then in the first, like the headline photo, then the rest of it is irrelevant if they can't figure out what you're selling. You need to make sure that your images indicate in some kind of way a hint to what you are selling or offering. So make sure that you do that. Okay. So we've gone through all of these. Let's go into settings. We got to set up some stuff for our store. So for my store, I did choose a plan, and I need to put in my correct email address, but you'll notice that there is an exclamation mark here, the contact for this email account. So this customers see this as the email. This is not what you want customers to see. So you need to decide on what your customer contact number is going to be, what customers will see, and what the email address. So Shopify is going to contact me at this email address. What is the email address that I want customers to see? So I have an address used for customer order or bill confirmations. Again, figure out what your address is going to be. That was one of the things we did early on. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this. And they're telling you that you need to use a different email address other than a Gmail account. So that's why I always suggest that you buy a domain so that you can fix what customers will see. Okay. What kind of currency are you accepting? So store currency, US dollars, everything is in US dollars. If you need to change that, I can click on change and I can choose different payment settings. We haven't gotten to payment settings, so I won't do that. There is a section where we will actually go in and change payment settings for what type of payments. The store currency is going to be US dollars. You're not changing that, sorry. The next thing is pricing for shipping. And we use metric. Nope, we use the imperial. Yeah, pounds. So we use imperial, not metric, US and Canada. So it automatically defaults that. I'm Central Standard Time. Figure out what you're going to put there. And this is just under the store details. We already had plan, payments. Okay. So the next section is going to be payments. And again, we're under settings. All right, so this is extremely important. If you want to get paid, if you want to be able to collect payments, you have to complete the Shopify payment setup. Okay, so to complete the Shopify payment setup, I'm going to click on this button here. You also have manage once you set it up. If you want to accept payments through PayPal, you can set up the PayPal integration. I don't have a PayPal ready for this, so I'm not going to do that integration. Amazon Pay, so that they could use their Amazon account to be able to check out. So you'll find that on some of the sites where people buy things, but we're like, look, if you've already got an integrated payment solution, you can pay using whatever that integrated payment solution is. So some people have Amazon Pay, Apple Pay, Google Pay. I have Google Pay set up. So those types of things that make it easier and faster for customers to check out, those are the integrations that you can turn on or activate. If you don't have anything set up, then just making sure that you have Shopify payments ready to go is good enough. Okay. And then if you're going to process manual transactions, so that would be, sometimes when people have a brick and mortar, a physical store, if you are showcasing your stuff at a flea market or something like that, a swap meet, then you can process manual payments there. Others will just do the integration like with a, what is that thing? Oh God, it's not Stripe. It's the, oh God, what is that thing called? I've seen them so many times. It's the flat white thing. Oh my God. Only because I can't think of the name of it. Options. And then just let me know what questions you have. I'm trying to remember what that thing is called. It's not Stripe. It is. If you want to type it in the chat. It is. Oh God. Square. I can remember it's Square. It's Square. So again, I've seen Square a lot. When you go out to a store, you go out somewhere, you'll see people having a little one of those little Square things where they can accept payments. So Square is also an option. It took me a minute, y'all, to figure that out. So you can set up Square if you need to. So to go ahead and set up your payments, I'm going to click on View Manage Payments, indicate the business type. This is your information. So if you've already established an LLC, that's fine. If it's just you, then individual and sole proprietor is fine. So this is going to be based off of what you have set up. If you haven't set anything up, like you haven't created a corporation, you don't have an LLC, you don't have a partner, like you don't have any of that stuff, then individual sole proprietor is your default. You put in your EIN. This is the EIN for your business operations. And then this is the information that you filed with the IRS in your state. So what is the address where your business shows up? So make sure that you put that information here. What's the address that they're using, okay? Then personal details, you're gonna populate that information in here and along with your social security number since you're in the US. So you will populate that. I didn't mean to click in there. And then the next thing is your product industry. So you can choose where this thing is, what industry is it in, what's the category. We have coffee mugs, so I don't know, probably under house, home and house and stuff like that. Home appliances, home goods. Okay, there's probably something else I could read there. Put a good description for the product details, okay? And then customer billing. So how your store information is going to show up on statements when people buy things from you. So this is a Shopify store. So you can change this and you can also put the phone number so that way if they want to contact you, dispute the payment, whatever, they have a way to reach you and terms. So you agree, these are the terms and service for using, terms and conditions for using Shopify. Once you have all of that set up, then you can click on continue account setup. I think it's going to take you to one more page after that. And then after that page, then you'll be able to save. I don't have Shopify payments set up yet, but again, if you want to be able to collect payments from buyers and also get paid by Shopify, get that money from Shopify, then you definitely need to set this up. Keep in mind when customers pay using a credit card, there is a fee per transaction. So the rate that they charge. So you want to be mindful of that as well. Once you have it all set up, if you need to change it, you can go into manage and you can manage all of your stuff. So here you can say, okay, I only accept Visa and MasterCard. I don't know how many people are still accepting Diners Club, but anyway. So there are people in the world that are still using Diners Club, okay. Shop Pay is the thing that I'll see or you'll see. Like when you buy stuff right now, you can tell sometimes when you're buying from a Shopify store because you see this little purple pay here. These are all the other payment integrations because they will accept these payment integrations and Shopify will handle that. So if you've got something special going on there, You want to set it up on the other page. So your payout schedule, how you want to be paid out by Shopify. You can say, I want to be paid out every business day by Shopify. And again, they're going to check some things before they go ahead and process the payout. And then automatically decline charges if they fail to put in the CVV, which is that like 3-digit, 4-digit number that's on the back of the card. And if you can't verify the postal, some people will turn on that as well. Billing, this is what your customers will see. We saw that on the other page. You can set up your store in test mode so that you can actually test the checkout process. Make sure you make a note of where this is. So after you have set up your Shop Pay or your Shopify payments, you need to come in here and you need to turn this on in test mode. Okay, so that way you can test the checkout process. What is the experience that your customer is going to go through when they buy things from you? Okay. All right, the next one is, let's see, users and permissions. Sorry, I skipped one. So users and permissions, I meant to cover that. Users and permissions is if you have a VA that you need to help handle your store, you can come in here and you can add staff and you can say what level of access that they have. So put in their names and then the email address for them. So they get notifications automatically. And so staff will have no permissions in the store, okay? So you want to indicate what they can do. If you want them just to add products, you can have them just do that or do imports to products. If you want them to create whatever you want them to do in your store, you want to indicate what it is you want them to do. And this is also where you set the permissions that any apps, if you do any app integration, and we're covering app integration in the next class, but any app integrations, this is where you're going to indicate that as well. So if you have a VA, make sure that you come in here and set up your VA so that they will be able to help you in your store if you've already got all your business processes defined. All right. Anyone can send a collaborator request. Only collaborator requests can be sent and send a collaborator. Yeah, I probably would turn that off. I would probably choose that one. Is what I would do. Okay. So the next thing is checkout. So the experience that your customer is going to have as they check out, customize the checkout process. So you want to add your logos and your colors and your fonts to the page. So we've already uploaded the logo. If you decided on your store color, wait for it to think about it. You decided on your store color. There we go. Okay. Then you can make adjustments there. So this is what the customers will see. Okay. This is what they bought for the checkout process. If they bought the coffee mug, they're going to see this express checkout. We don't have anything turned on, so they're going to have express checkout. That's where they could use their integration with their Apple Pay, Shop Pay, forgetting all the other ones, Google Pay, blah, blah, blah. Their phone number, their shipping address. So the only thing is that we don't have our logo. We probably want to change our colors on the checkout. So you can change that. I probably need to change this from live. No, I'm going to unpublish my store so that way I don't have to worry about anything. Return to cart. They can continue with shipping. So you want to add your logo here. And that's where we would go in and make our adjustments. So you have your colors for your checkout, the font, the cart page, which is, this is the actual page where this stuff is going to show up. I'm going to do drawer, social media. We already saw the social media at the bottom, so it's going to default your social media on here. Check out. So I can put in our logo, which I'm not going to put this giant logo in here. I could choose this ginormous logo if I wanted to have that show up. I can add a banner up at the top. So if there was a banner that I wanted to show up at the top, I can do that. So again, giving them the look and feel of when they bought from the store, this all looks the same. And then any background image behind this purchase, right now it's all white, but if I wanted to add a background image, I don't know. Okay. None of these make sense to add, but you can add a background image if you wanted to. And I don't think we have anything else significant. Yeah, our colors, this is the checkout because of the theme that I chose. This is the color that we're going with. So if you have a different color that you wanted to use, you can choose a different color, but again, changing your, changing how the checkout looks like. The other thing is, you can actually change, like if you don't like the colors that are part of your store, you can make those adjustments here. If you want to choose a different font, this is the font that you saw on the front page, this page, okay? So if you want to change the font, you can come in here and change the font. You can change the font size. You can change the thickness. You can make it bold if you want to. Save that. You refresh this page. Okay. Oh, I don't have anything underlined. Sorry. And then the next thing, capitalizations, your font again. Yeah. So you can change your fonts if you want to. You can change your font sizes as well. That is under theme settings, which is at the very bottom. And when you go to theme settings, you can change all of those things about your store. So you can come in here and make adjustments if you don't like the colors that were chosen for the letters, for the words. If you don't like the font, you can come in here and change it under theme settings. So under checkout, this is where you can add the logo so that they can see the logo when they're checking out. You can also make the rest of the store match, make the text match the rest of your store look and feel. So right now we're choosing this particular color is showing up here on your order summary, and it's also showing up down here. When they make a mistake, this is the color that they're going to see, or something is missing, that's the color they're going to see. Okay, go ahead. The other thing is if you decide that you want your customer to create an account. So sometimes, like if people are setting up a subscription box, or maybe they're setting up a wholesale account, and maybe you're a wholesale supplier, because you do have an option for some wholesale themes that are in here. You can have your customers create an account at checkout so that way they can just log in and to buy or order or add things to their cart or modify their subscription with you. Okay, so this is where you have the option to add that if you want to have your customers create an account or not. And those are reasons why you would have them create an account. So it may or may not make sense if you are just selling products that people are just going to come and buy once, then that's fine. But if you're selling products where you want people to come back every single month, maybe it's a replenishable. Maybe people are ordering like something like candles from you, or you're selling coffee. So they're going to come back and buy from you time and time again. They can create an account. And then that way their order, whatever they normally order, they can just say, hey, I want to order this again, instead of going through on the entire process. So think about, again, how customers might be using your product, how they might want to access your product. And if it makes sense for them to create a customer account, you can have them create a customer account. That's what you want to do. Okay. So we haven't gotten to shipping. Let's see. The information that we're going to collect as part of the form, of course, we have under the checkout, we do need their address. So we need their shipping address. What is this? Whether the checkout requires extra information from your customer. Okay, so we don't need to have the extra because they already have the basics. If you're good with the checkout form, again, you can click on customize to checkout. If you're good with the checkout form, then leave it. If there's extra stuff that you want to require, you can add that as well. If you are selling food products, sometimes tipping makes sense. If you're doing a service, selling a service, sometimes tipping makes sense. So I would only turn this on if it makes sense for what you're selling. If it doesn't make sense for you what you're selling, then don't do that. And then we have order processing. So fill in the information that makes sense for you, for your store and the type of store that you're going to offer. So you can come over to checkout and customize the checkout process for your customer and update again what makes sense for you. The checkout language. So I think languages, we got a section just on languages. There it is. So languages, if you're going to make your store available in multiple languages, you can update languages here and add additional languages for translation. You also have under checkout, you can add languages, additional language here. So manage your checkout language. So everything is going to be displayed in English by default. If you want to add some additional things, then you can come over here and make some adjustments to indicate, the additional language. So an example might be Spanish. I've seen people will have checkout, some of their checkout language in Spanish as well. So it'll be in English and in Spanish. So here's another one where you have the opportunity to handle the checkout that way. Okay, all right, go back over here. Store. I've gone completely out. Okay, that's fine. Let me go back to settings, scroll all the way to the bottom. Go back to settings. Okay. All right, I'm gonna skip shipping and delivery for right now, and I'm gonna skip taxes. We're gonna go to locations. And so the locations are, where are your items being fulfilled from? Like, where are they filling orders from? Because that matters because of taxes. So fill in your locations first before you do taxes. Where are you shipping from? Are you fulfilling the orders yourself? Do you have a prep center? If you have a prep center, then you can add your locations. If you have a prep center or fulfillment center, add the locations where the majority of your inventory is being shipped out of. If you are working with a wholesale supplier and they are doing the fulfillment or shipping for you, you can find out where that is coming from. If you're going to use an integration, which we will cover integrations next week, then again, your wholesale supplier, once you set them up and you use the integration, one of the most common for shipping, ShipStation. And so again, you would integrate, you would probably create your own ShipStation account, and then your fulfillment company, whichever is doing your fulfillment, if they don't already have their own tool and their own integration with Shopify, then they can use ShipStation, which is very common for those people who don't have a Shopify integration. They'll have you create a Shopify ShipStation account. So wherever they are located, like if they're in Florida or if they're in, I don't know, Utah, make sure you're putting in where your orders are going to be fulfilled from. I would do that before I start working on shipping and taxes. And then your domain, when you are ready to attach your domain, I'm going to go down to domains now. This is where you will add the domain that you want to connect. So you can click on connect existing domain and then type in the domain. There's going to be some domain settings that you have to update so that you can connect it. So it's going to walk you through the process to connect it to an active domain. I use Namecheap for buying my domains. That's my preference. You could use Google if you want to, but make sure, again, the domain makes sense for the type of store or the store that you're creating. If you're creating a store name that's just obscure, like, I don't know, it's something unusual, like Axios. I don't know. I just came up with something. Nobody really knows what that is or what it means versus Bob's surfboards. So Bob's surfboards, what it is that you're selling is surfboards. That makes sense. And so people know you're selling surfboards, and maybe you have a variety of different surfing equipment that you sell, including the bodysuits and the string that goes on the surfboard and your ankle and all of that stuff. So be mindful, go back to session, I think 1 or 2, and think about your domains and your branding before you just buy a domain. Okay. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so your your domain was the last thing that we covered. Okay, and you can just transfer your domain. I would not buy a domain, as I previously said, through Shopify. Don't do that. Okay. Meta fields, this is important for your particular products that you're selling so that you can also be found in the search engines. So make sure that you are populating the meta fields. Make sure you're naming your images. If you have a bunch of images and things that you want to attach, you can go to files and attach your media there. It makes a lot of sense. And then you can update your languages. Again, you can add additional languages that you want your page to be visible or translate into. And again, Spanish is a very common one. So sometimes people do Italian, just depends. Like if you're selling in the UK, Canada, or Australia, English will work just fine. And then the domains, notifications. So these are the emails in which your customer is going to receive from you. And so what I would recommend is that you come in here and you look at the email notification. So when they buy something from you, this is the confirmation that they're going to see. It is written in HTML, but if you go and you look in between, says thank you for your purchase, you'll receive an email when your order is ready to pick up if you're doing local. If you're not doing local, like if they're buying online and you see the if local, you'll be getting your order. We're getting your order ready for delivery. You should receive your order to be shipped. So the majority, all of your customers are going to be shipped because you're going to set up your shipping sessions, hopefully. I mean, you might do some local stuff. I don't know. But the way you read these is you have to read in between the lines to get the actual text. I would not, unless you know HTML, I would not modify any of these. I would modify any of these because if you modify this and you don't know what you're doing, you could mess this up. But some of it is going to be slightly, like some of it, not all of it, is going to be obvious what it is. But this is the email that they're receiving. If you want some help, you can hire someone to help you with these emails if you want to edit them. Otherwise, you can just accept them the way that they are. So you see that you have emails for email confirmation, edited, okay? You can see the order invoice, if it's canceled, issued a refund, draft, so it can be sent when a draft is created, point of sale, which is going to be your physical. These are point of sale receipts. Gift card has been created if they're creating a gift card. Payment error, if the payment wasn't able to be processed, they're going to get this one, abandoned cart. This one, again, Look at your checkout settings so you configure this option because you want them to receive the abandoned cart, especially if they have an account or, you want them to receive that. Fulfillment. So under shipping, once we get to shipping, again, looking at some of these emails so that you can see what it is that they're going to send. So fulfillment request here. You can see, okay, so fulfillment request for and the email that would actually go out for that. So you'll have to get somebody that is familiar with HTML. Require customers to confirm their email subscription. So the one thing about email is that most of the time when people buy things these days, or you sign up for something, like if I sign up for the newsletter, then it's going to require me to confirm that I do want this newsletter. And if I do want the newsletter, then I have to go through the double opt-in. You'll also find if you have your own email marketing tool that you're using, you'll get the same thing for the double opt-in. So if you have them go ahead and confirm if they're signing up for your newsletter, your subscription, to go ahead and confirm that now. That makes it easier just to deal with it at that point. And then you can track your open rates. And if you want your staff to receive email notifications as well, so they can process orders, you can set all that up as well. So go through and kind of look at some of these if they make sense. Definitely turn on the abandoned cart. Again, if you need some help with email, you want to hire somebody to look at the HTML. These, the one thing I would do is I would turn on your test, so enable testing for your store. And then that way you can do a test checkout and you can see what these emails are going to be as they go out to see, oh, okay, this is what the text actually converts to. If you don't have a resource that can read HTML and tell you what's going on. All right, so in our next class, what we're going to do is we're going to cover taxes and we're going to cover shipping. And we're also going to cover integrations or apps. If you'll go through and make sure that you set up your payments, go through your checkouts, update your store details, make sure you add locations where you're going to be shipping from. If you're going to add a domain, you can add the domain now or you can wait. And then if you have any other images that you want to be available, make sure you go ahead and update those and your languages that you want your store to be translated into or where you plan on selling from. So with that being said, what questions can I answer at this point? What questions do you have? Sorry, we had just a little bit of a bumpy start. If you have any questions, we do have the team Q&A today at 3 o'clock, so you can jump on the Q&A session. If you're having problems with your store, let's go ahead and let's troubleshoot those issues with your store together. Okay, say goodbye for now.